Live. We are live. Thank you for joining us wherever it is you are watching from. We've got an interesting stream for you today. Today's about setting goals. So hello and welcome for this week's Sunday session. But before we begin, I want to say a genuine thank you because YouTube channel has now reached 1,000 subscribers. Now, I know that's not a lot compared to some of the big channels, but to me, it's like a massive number. It is a big milestone number. And so just imagine yourself stood in front of 1,000 people. And that's a lot of people who have chosen to subscribe, to watch the silly videos that are put out there, and to take part in whatever it is that we're building here. I still don't know what this is, but do you know what? You have chosen to subscribe. You've chosen to watch the videos and be part of what we are building. So that's really important. So whether you've been here from the very beginning, and for some of you that's a long time ago, or whether you've subscribed this week, thank you. And I genuinely mean that. Every view, every comment, every person who has shared one of these videos, and strangely enough, reaching 1,000 subscribers picks perfectly well with what we want to talk about tonight. Because it didn't happen with one video. And it didn't happen overnight. In fact, I'll post a picture of the chart from 2008 all the way up, and you can see when I started to take it a bit more seriously. It happened one view, one video, and one subscriber at a time. And the videos that performed really well, and the videos that have barely seemed to have moved in years. And there are probably moments when it would have been easy for me to kind of give up. And do you know what? There's times when I did. When you actually think, is this going anywhere? Is it worth doing? But you keep creating, you keep showing up on Sundays when you can, and you keep moving forward. And eventually all those tiny, small steps begin to kind of look like a little bit of progress. So sometimes the breakthrough everybody sees is simply a result of all the work that nobody saw. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to keep working towards your goal when it feels hard, when progress feels slow, and when part of you is wondering whether this is actually still all worth it. Then in the second half, we're going to guide you into some relaxing hypnosis imagination exercises designed to help you reconnect with your goal, to strengthen your belief and help you take the next step to make yourself comfortable. So let's begin. Let's do the mindset session. Most people do not give up because they have chosen the wrong goal. They give up because they have misunderstood what progress is supposed to feel like. When we first decide to do something, to work towards a goal, it usually feels really exciting. Starting a business, improving our health, learning a new skill, building a new audience, changing careers, or writing a book. I've been battling with a book for years. Creating a better relationship. That's another one. But at the beginning, we all have that energy because the possibility is new. And we imagine the outcome and we see ourselves succeeding. But then comes the middle. No one really puts the middle bit on like motivational posters. No one does exciting videos about the middle. But the middle is repetitive. The middle is uncertain. And the middle is where you're doing all the work, but you cannot yet see whether evidence of whether it's working or not, whether the time and effort you're putting in is going to bring that reward. This is the point where motivation begins to disappear. And this is important, motivation disappearing does not mean your goal is wrong. It often means just the novelty has worn off. And in the real work starts then. The moment it becomes difficult is not a sign to stop. Sometimes it's the moment your commitment finally becomes real. Anyone can work towards a goal when they feel inspired. The real change happens when you learn to continue on the days when you do not. We all know that feeling of not wanting to go to the gym. Now, I'm not talking about running yourself into the ground. Rest matters. Resetting matters. Changing your approach can be an intelligent thing to do. And sometimes a goal genuinely does need to change. But there's a difference between making a considered decision and abandoning something because today feels difficult. Never make a permanent decision based on temporary emotion. If you've had a bad day, have the bad day. Rest, reset, talk to somebody. But don't allow one difficult afternoon to decide the direction of your whole life. So we're going to be talking about kind of some practical things that you can do with your goal. We're going to give you some takeaways to help you. And don't forget, if there's anyone that you know could benefit from this, then please do share it, especially if you're on 12 in 2008. Beth. Shrink the horizon. When people feel overwhelmed, they're normally trying to carry the entire journey at once. You're thinking about how much weight you still need to lose, how many customers you still need to get, how many followers that somebody else has, or how much money the business needs to make, how far you have still got to go. Your mind looks at the distance between where you are now and where you want to be, and it turns that distance into pressure. So shrink the horizon. Stop asking, how am I going to achieve all of this? And ask, what's the next useful step that I can do? What's the useful thing I can do next? Not the next 10 things, not the next perfect thing, just the next useful thing. Now, perhaps that means just sending one more email, making one phone call, walking for 20 minutes, writing one more page, or recording one more video, or even just practicing for 15 minutes. Your mind may become overwhelmed by a mountain, but it can cope with a single step. Once you have taken that step, there will be another. You do not need enough energy for the entire journey. You only need enough energy for the next honest step. If you're struggling with a goal this week, write down one action that would move you towards it. Make it specific. Make it small enough that you'll be able to complete it, and do it before you begin negotiating with yourself. Does that make sense? Nice and simple. Next big step. Measure the work, not just the reward. A lot of frustration comes down to measuring outcomes. And these outcomes can be things that we can't control. You can create a brilliant post, but you cannot force people to share it. You can prepare for an opportunity, but you cannot force somebody to say yes. And you can offer an excellent service, but you cannot control when a client is going to be ready to buy from you. When we only measure the outcomes, a good day can feel like a failure. Instead, create like a second scoreboard. Yet continue to track the results, but also track the actions that make those results more likely. Did you make the call? Did you attend the meeting? Did you? Did you complete the workout? Did you practice? Did you publish? Did you keep the promise you made to yourself? This is like an effort scoreboard. And by keeping track of these, it helps your day to day. The results may fluctuate, but your commitment is something that you can influence. And so if you recorded a video and only 50 people watched it, then that doesn't mean creating it was pointless. It means you learned something, you improved, you added another piece to your body of work. You kept your machine moving. Some actions produce immediate results. Others are deposits into a future you cannot see. The conversation you have today may create an opportunity in 6 months' time. That video gets ignored today, but it may get discovered by the right person next year, even the year after that. Your responsibility is to just do the work. You don't always get to decide when that work is going to pay you back. Does that make sense? Takeaway 3, collect evidence of the progress. The mind has a habit of overlooking gradual change. If you see yourself every day, often you're not going to notice how much you've changed. If you're building something one piece at a time, each individual action can feel insignificant. That is why you need that evidence. Keep a progress log. For those that are trying to lose weight or change shape, it's always good at the beginning of your journey to take a photo. And then at the times when you feel less motivated, look back at that image and you kind of go, wow, and you can see the progress. At the end of each week, answer these 3 questions. What did I complete? What did I learn? What can I do differently next week? Now, this is not about pretending everything is brilliant. It's about seeing the full picture. Maybe you do not reach the target, but you handled a situation better than you would have done 6 months ago. Maybe the result was disappointing, but your recovery was quicker. Maybe you're not where you want to be, but you're doing things that the old version of you would have avoided. That counts. That's progress. That's progress is not only what's changing around you, progress is changing who you are, who you're becoming whilst you pursue it. Do not dismiss your growth simply because it has not yet become visible to everybody else. Keep a written record. Your memory will often remember the frustration, the hard work, and forget the movement. Give yourself some evidence. And it's really important. Here we go. Takeaway 4, expect the dip. Go into it knowing that there are going to be days when you feel confident and focused, and there are going to be days when you question everything. The mistake is assuming that the difficult day means that you are failing. A dip in confidence is not the same as a decline in ability. I want you to say that again in your mind. A dip in confidence is not the same as a decline in ability. You've not suddenly lost everything. You have learned because you woke up feeling uncertain. Feelings are real, but they're not always reliable instructions. You can feel stuck while still moving forward. You can feel unprepared whilst being more capable than you realise. And you can feel as though nothing is changing immediately before, and then something changes. That's why consistency matters. Consistency stops every passive move from being given control over your direction. Create what I call a minimum day action. This is the smallest version of the habit that you can still complete on a difficult day. If your normal workout is an hour, your minimum might be a 10-minute walk. If you normally write 1,000 words, your minimum might be 1 paragraph. If you're creating content, your minimum might be writing down 3 ideas. The minimum is not where you stay forever. It's how you keep the connection alive. On the hard days, success may not look like charging forward. Sometimes success is simply refusing to disappear. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. So, goals. Goals become heavy when they turn into obligations. You start to think to yourself that I should be further ahead. I have to prove myself. Everybody else is doing better than me. That language drains the meaning from what you were doing. Return to the reason that you began. What would achieving this goal allow you to experience? How would it enable you to help? What would it change for you and your family? And what part of you comes alive when you start thinking about it? Your reason doesn't need to sound impressive to anybody else. It only needs to matter to you. And be careful not to turn to somebody else's timeline into evidence that you're late. Social media is going to show you other people's results without showing you the full reality behind it. You do not know their starting point. You don't know their support. You don't know their setbacks. You don't see what they had to sacrifice to be there. Social media just shows you the highlights. And comparison is going to take your attention away from your next move. Their success does not mean you are failing. It proves that success is possible. Learn from people. Be inspired by them. But keep your eyes on your own path. Because your goal is about you. It's not only testing whether you want the result, it's asking whether you're prepared to become the person capable of creating it. That person is built through repetition, through disappointment, through adjusting, learning, and continuing. The hard part is not wasted time. The hard part is often the training. You are not behind. You're in the part of the story where your strength is being built before your success becomes visible. Keep going. So here's your challenge for this week. Choose one goal that matters to you. Just one goal. You're never late, Claudia. You're at the right time. Choose one goal, then write it down. Why does this matter? What's the next useful step? What's my minimum action on a difficult day? And what evidence will I record at the end of the week? Do not try and transform your entire life by tomorrow morning. Just make a promise that you can keep. Because every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you're building self-trust. And self-trust is far more powerful than a temporary burst of motivation. Motivation says, I will do it when I feel ready. Self-trust says, I know I will take the next step, whatever today feels like. Does that make sense? Cool. Now, we're going to move into tonight's hypnosis session. So please only listen to this if you can do it safely. And if you can do it, relax. So do not listen whilst driving, operating heavy machinery, or doing anything that requires your full attention, whatever that may be. Simply allow yourself to become comfortable, allow your hands to rest, and let my voice guide you. Cool. Take a big deep breath in. And as you settle into a comfortable position right now, you can allow your eyes to close whenever you are ready. Take a slow, comfortable breath in. And then just gently breathe out. Perfect, Claudia. As you breathe out, just allow your shoulders to soften. Now, there is nowhere else you need to be right now. There is nothing you need to solve. There is nothing you need to prove. And for these next few minutes, you can simply pause. Breathe in naturally, listening comfortably, and allowing the outside world to just become less important for just a few moments. And you may begin by noticing that the muscles around your eyes, just allow those little muscles to just soften, as though the effort of the day can just begin to melt away. That comfortable feeling can move down through your face, relaxing your jaw and softening the neck. Imagine it moving across the shoulders. And you don't have to make yourself relax. You can just simply stop preventing relaxation from happening. You can just allow that comfort to move down your arms, through your elbows, your forearms, and all the way into your hands and fingers. With each gentle breath, you can settle a little more deeply. Not asleep, simply comfortable, focused, and aware. And perhaps you can imagine that every breath out releases something you no longer need to carry. You can exhale pressure, doubt, frustration, the need to have everything worked out. Breathing in calm, and breathing out pressure. Allow that relaxation to move down through your chest, your stomach, through your back, and into your hips. Down the legs, through your knees, calves, and ankles, all the way to the very tips of your toes. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With each number, you can become more settled inside. 10. Allowing the outside world to become less important. 8. Drifting, breathing, calm and steady. 7. Moving more deeply into this space. 6. Comfort spreading throughout your entire body. 5. Halfway down to your hypnosis. 4. No effort required. 3. Your mind becoming quieter. 2. Almost there. And 1. Calm, comfortable, focused. As you allow the sound of my voice to wash over your body. Now in your imagination, picture yourself standing at the beginning of a beautiful path. There is no need to see it perfectly. You may sense it or simply imagine that it's there. The path represents a goal that matters to you, something you would genuinely like to create, change, or achieve. Perhaps you can become more aware of that goal now, not through pressure, not through fear, but with a quiet sense of purpose. Ahead of you, the path stretches way into the distance, and you cannot see every turn or twist. You cannot know exactly what will happen along the way, but that's okay. That's all right, because you're never required to see the whole path. You only need to see the next step. Notice the ground beneath you, solid, supportive, and become aware that everything that you have experienced until now, this moment, has brought you to this point. Your successes, your setbacks, the lessons, the times you continued, even the times you stopped and restarted. None of that has been wasted. You are here right now. As you look ahead, you may notice an object in the path. Perhaps it's a stone, a fallen branch, or other obstacles. This represents something that has recently made your journey feel difficult. It may represent doubt, a delay, disappointment, tiredness, or a fear of failure, or a feeling that progress is just taking too long. You don't need to fight it, just notice it. Right now, from this calm place, just remind yourself, an obstacle on the path does not mean the path has ended. You can use your experience to find a way to step over it, move around it, learn from it, or even ask for help with it. Pause, gather your strength, and then continue. There is always another response available, and your mind can begin to understand that difficulty is not a command to give up. It's information. It may just be asking you to adjust, to learn, to slow down, or to try a different way. But you remain the person who chooses what happens next. Imagine yourself taking one step forward now, just one step. As your foot meets the ground, quietly say to yourself, I can take the next step. And then just take another imaginary step. You do not need to do everything today. Just another tiny, small progress. But progress is still progress. And just remember that you are becoming stronger by continuing. Every step you may begin to feel something changing. Not a forced excitement, something steadier, a quiet determination. The kind that does not need applause. The kind that continues even when nobody is watching. The kind that remembers why this is important. And as you move along that path, imagine meeting a future version of yourself. A version of you who continued. A version of you who had difficult days, but didn't let those days decide the future. Notice how this future you stands. Notice their expression on their face, their body language, the calmness, the confidence, their sense of knowing that the work was worthwhile. Now you can ask this future you a simple question. What did I need to remember? And allow an answer to form in whatever way feels natural now. It might be a word, an image, a feeling, or just simply a knowing. Perhaps this future you reminds you that you are more capable than you believed. Perhaps they tell you to stop waiting for perfect conditions. Perhaps they remind you to rest without quitting. Or perhaps they tell you that the small actions mattered far more than you realized. Perhaps they may just say to you, keep going. You are closer than you think. I want you to imagine now that this future you, this version of you, is placing something in your hand. A symbol of commitment. It may be a key, a small light, a stone, a compass. It may be something completely different. But whatever appears for you, as you hold this symbol, let it represent that part of you that knows how to continue, not recklessly, not endlessly pushing, but steadily returning to what matters, again and again and again. Allow that feeling to just spread through you now. A quiet confidence, a deeper trust. An understanding that you don't have to feel motivated every day. You only need to remember your direction and choose your next useful step. Your unconscious mind can continue organizing your thoughts around your goal, noticing opportunities, learning from feedback, and releasing unhelpful comparison. It helps make it easier for you to begin. You can rest when you need to rest. You can change your strategy when something's not working. You can even ask for support. And you can continue. Because flexibility is not failure. Rest is not quitting. Slow progress is not no progress. And imagine yourself now completing that next action. That action that's going to move your goal forward no matter how small. See where you are, notice what you are doing, and make this action realistic and achievable. Perhaps you're just making the call, opening the document. Perhaps you're just putting on your running shoes, sending the message, recording the video, having the conversation. Take one clear, useful step. Notice the feeling that comes from beginning, because beginning creates movement. Movement creates evidence, and evidence builds belief. You do not always have to believe completely before you act. Sometimes belief arrives because you acted. I want you to let these ideals settle deep in your unconscious. I can move forward without having every answer. I can have a difficult day without abandoning my direction. I notice my value and my progress. I keep promises to myself. I trust myself to take the next step. So from now on, whenever the goal feels too large, you can shrink the horizon. Whenever doubt appears, you can return to the next useful action. And whenever progress feels invisible, you can look for the evidence. And wherever you need to rest, you can just rest, but you know you have the intention of returning. Because this journey does not require perfection. It requires presence, patience, and learning. And most importantly, a willingness to begin again. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 all the way up to 5. 5, you can open your eyes feeling refreshed, clear, calmly motivated, taking with you the ideas that are useful and allowing everything else to just fall away. 1, beginning to return right now. 2, bringing your attention back to the room. 3, taking a slightly deeper breath. And 4, gently moving your hands and feet. And 5, eyes open when you're ready, feeling awake, refreshed, and clear. How's that? Welcome back. Taking a moment before rushing away and deciding what your next useful step will be. Not your entire plan, just the next step. And once again, thanking you for helping the channel on YouTube reach 1,000 subscribers. If tonight's session has helped you in any way, then please do give it a like and leave me a comment and a share with somebody who you might find, having difficulty on their own journey. And if you've not already subscribed, I would love to have you with us as we move towards the next 1,000. Remember, you do not have to be perfect. You do not have to move quickly. You simply have to keep returning to what matters, which is you. My name is Grant Saunders. Your mind is my business. And don't forget, hypnosis is not what you think. It's what you think. Cheers. Any questions, guys? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Claudia, thank you very much. I hope you get the full benefit of that. Beth, thank you very much on TikTok. It is always fun. And don't forget, guys, if you have areas where you would like us to focus these Sunday sessions, then please feel free to drop them in the chat or send me a message as well. I wouldn't do this without you guys. So yeah, hopefully you have a great week. And yes, cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. And I'll see you maybe next Sunday.